beats.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your man, Junior, aka Smoking Guns, out here in Tucson, Arizona, representing the Ultimate Fight Club, giving you the latest content in boxing and MMA news that is out. So, tonight's video, this is going to be the aftermath of tonight's UFC 288 with the main event, ALJAMAIN STERLING versus HENRY CEJUDO for the UFC Bantamweight title. And dude, this was a really good fight. Definitely a very interesting fight, and it was cool to see what Henry Cejudo was looking like coming off of a 3-year layoff. And even though the fight didn't go how the way I predicted, because I was actually leaning towards Henry Cejudo for the victory, but I definitely said in my final thoughts video that ALJAMAIN STERLING was going to be able to pose some definitive problems for a dude like Henry Cejudo, especially depending on what Cejudo looks like off of that layoff. But going into the decision, I actually scored it for ALJAMAIN STERLING, giving him round 1, 2, and 4. But round 2 could definitely be a toss-up depending on how you scored that round, you dig? But before we get started, make sure to hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have anything to say, hit me up in the comments section. But going into this fight, I definitely knew that both of these dudes were going to have the attributes to be able to give each other problems. For a dude like ALJAMAIN STERLING, being the bigger fighter, being the taller and rangier fighter, I definitely gave him the strength advantage because he's a really big dude for that 135-pound division. And with how unorthodox his striking is, I definitely thought that his striking could be able to pose problems for a dude like Henry Cejudo. But I definitely said that Henry Cejudo was going to be the better striker and definitely the more technical and polished striker in the damn fight. And with Henry Cejudo's wrestling ability, I knew that his wrestling would give ALJAMAIN STERLING problems, because ALJAMAIN STERLING in all of his fights relies heavily on his damn wrestling. But I also knew that ALJAMAIN STERLING's grappling could really pose problems for a dude like Henry Cejudo in this fight. And one of the main things going into this fight is I was wondering, would ALJAMAIN STERLING be able to impose his will and his strength with how big he is with his takedowns on a dude like Henry Cejudo? And going into this fight, especially in that first round, ALJAMAIN STERLING did a really good job being able to impose his pressure and his will on a dude like Henry Cejudo. And what really surprised me about Henry Cejudo is how he was so quick and willing to be able to mix it up with his takedowns in this damn fight. But one thing that surprised me with ALJAMAIN STERLING with his grappling ability was how strong he was in the grappling and the wrestling with Henry Cejudo in this fight, being able to get up from the takedown, being able to take control of the first round, and being able to win that round very handily with his pressure and his striking. And going into round 2 was definitely a toss-up round with how even it was, because both of these dudes were doing a really good job with their striking, with the awkwardness and how unorthodox ALJAMAIN STERLING's striking is. And even when it got into the clinch, ALJAMAIN STERLING was very strong in the damn clinch every time they were able to get into close range. And ALJAMAIN STERLING definitely had a really good advantage in the clinch on the cage, being able to impose his will on a dude like Henry Cejudo. But Henry Cejudo's wrestling is very much top par, being able to defend from the takedowns and being able to get his own takedowns on ALJAMAIN STERLING. It really made the wrestling and the grappling very competitive with these two in this damn fight. And to be honest, the wrestling and the takedowns are actually what made some of the rounds very definitive in this fight, because going into the third round, it was pretty much a toss-up round all the way to the last minute of the round when Henry Cejudo was able to secure an inside trip to be able to get the takedown on ALJAMAIN STERLING. And that is pretty much what definitively won him that third round. And then going into the fourth round, it was pretty much the same thing, where it was a toss-up round going into the last minute, where ALJAMAIN STERLING was able to secure himself a takedown on Henry Cejudo. and able to secure that round for himself. And in the 5th round, with the pressure that Henry Cejudo was able to establish on Aljamain Sterling, he definitely won that 5th round hands down, in my opinion. So when it ended up going to the scorecards, even though I had Aljamain Sterling winning the fight, it just depends on how you would score the rounds, and you definitely do not know how these judges will be scoring these rounds. That's why they always say, never let the fight go to the scorecards, because even if you win definitively, sometimes you will still lose the fight when it does go to a decision. But Aljamain Sterling ended up winning this fight by a split decision, being able to beat one of the best bantamweights and flyweights and a dude like Henry Cejudo in this damn fight. So hats off to Aljamain Sterling for being able to get the victory over a tough SOB like Henry Cejudo. And I'm definitely hoping that Henry Cejudo does not hang up the gloves, because off of a 3-year layoff with the performance that he was able to display against Aljamain Sterling, I definitely want to see him back in the cage again to be able to face some of these top dogs in the bantamweight division, because he could still be able to win that belt, in my opinion. So hats off to Henry Cejudo for being able to get back into that cage. Now, for the future of Aljamain Sterling, we all know how Sugar Sean O'Malley stepped into that cage, and it definitely got very heated in the cage with O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling. So that is definitely a fight that I am looking forward to. And that's definitely going to be a fight that's going to be very hard for both of these dudes, just for the simple fact O'Malley striking is really going to be able to give a dude like Aljamain Sterling problems, because O'Malley striking is very well polished, and he definitely has the attributes to be able to knock out a dude like Aljamain Sterling. But with Aljamain Sterling's wrestling and grappling ability, if Sean O'Malley's grappling isn't up to par by the time they fight, I see Aljamain Sterling winning that fight pretty handily by a submission victory. But only time is going to tell when that fight happens. But when it does go down, I'm definitely going to be watching that fight to see, will Aljamain Sterling have what it takes to be able to clean out the bantamweight division with another title defense over a dude like Sean O'Malley, you dig? But with that being stated, I hope you guys like the video. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you have any kind of comments, any kind of questions, hit me up in the comment section and I'll be sure to hit you guys up. All right. So I hope you like the video. Holla at your man.